Perfect. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We are live, and I have a special guest with me. In fact, I'm a guest with Listed. This is Catharine MacIntosh, the CEO,
Hi, everyone.
who developed a really, really cool app for real estate agents. So I have a lot of real estate agents that come to me because I work with agents in both Canada and the US at different companies, and they all have different tools. Sometimes the company provides an app. Sometimes the agent has a website that has an app. Sometimes there's like a CRM that the agents have an app for. And what I find that most agents struggle with is not the app itself, it's the promotion of the app and getting it into the hands of the consumer and you guys generating business from that. So that's the purpose of today's call is I'm going to be showing you guys all the different ways that you can leverage an app. And if you don't have one, you have to put it in the comment section right now if you don't have an app, and then we're going to follow up and make sure that you get one in your pocket.
Or
So,
if you have an app
yeah,
and you want to pull out the guns, like a showdown,
yeah.
get Listed and try it in opposition to whatever you're using and see what works best. And then ask your clients to try it and see what works best for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Win-win. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. So share screen, and then I will get over to my keynote. Here it is here. Perfect. Okay, guys. So this is it. This session is on real estate apps, and specifically, how do you guys market these real estate apps? So a basic for sale sign looks like this. You guys put the sign in the yard and you hope that people buy the house. Well, you should really up the game and leverage the sign for all it's worth. We used to put a topper on the top of it and a dangler on the bottom of it because it gives you more footprint for text and call to actions and websites. And in this case, on the top rider, I have a QR code that says search real estate listings. We have an app for that. And when a person scans the QR code, guess what it brings them to? You're right.
Listed.
Yeah. In this case, it brings them to Listed. And on the bottom of the for sale sign, we have other call to actions. We say pictures, price, and info, text feature. Can I zoom in? Oh, yeah, I can. Text featured to 647-699-6047. And then we created an automation that replies to the consumer on your behalf. Or old school, just go to your website.com/featured. But if you don't have a sign dangler on the top and the bottom offering this kind of interactive, then people aren't going to be reaching out and giving you their contact information because all you have is your for sale sign with the phone number. You need more. You need at least a QR code at the bare minimum. Like, what's one sign going to cost you with a QR code that automatically takes people to your app? Like, nothing in comparison to the number of leads that you're going to generate from it.
And you can also make that QR code different each time and make it specific to the property because you have people standing out there. They just want to know how much is that one? And then if that one isn't good for them, they've got that one plus all the other MLS listings to then search for through you. Because when they get that listing or the app, they're connected to you forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And so sign riders without a call to action, this is a typical sign rider that people put up. Sold, just listed, price reduction, like things like that. I mean, combine the sign rider with a call to action. Just sold, selling next, text sold, and here's a QR code. So you really got to use QR codes and texting on your sign riders because you're just missing out on interacting with consumers that are interested in that pocket. We used to do a presentation where if I was meeting a buyer or a seller face to face for the first time, I had a buyer presentation and I had a seller presentation. Well, within that presentation, I would be breaking down your app and showing them all the benefits and features of like, hey, if you're searching for real estate, you got to use our Listed app. You could pull up all of the listings. You can find all the homes at the press of a button. You can see all the sold data. And I would actually go through each of the features of the app right in the presentation and get them using it before I left.
Oh, yeah. Just on that, we recently had an agent who said, I never go to a listing appointment without stopping on the page where they have their Listed app and then saying, this is how we're going to follow along together about the inventory that's competing with us when our listing comes out. And they sign them up on Listed.
Yeah.
And then they leave them with the app so that they show them, we're going to create a safe search for you so that they and their agent are completely together, empowered and on what's coming out, what's selling, what got delisted, and kind of managing the inventory together as they go.
Yeah.
They don't leave they joke that even if I don't get the listing, they've still got to look at me every day in their app.
Yeah, the cool thing about the app is it sticks with the consumer in their pocket. So once they get hooked up and you've got them set up on a prospect match within the app, you've got them set up on alerts for their neighborhood for prices. It's very sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps you connected. It's not a technology as much as a relationship builder.
This is an example here of what I would have in the presentation. So this is like the piece of paper that I would leave behind. And it would basically be scan me, download the app for free. And when a person scans it, it would take them directly to whatever your app happens to be. So you want to try it?
Yeah. I got Brokerage Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was promoting myself on this QR code, but on the real deal, if I actually had this at a listing presentation, it would be the QR code that triggers the app download. I want to give you guys that as a template, by the way. So this is an 8.5/11 sheet of paper, and I created it in Canva so that you can actually edit this and drag and drop your photo, add your logo, add your contact info, and then whatever the instructions are for people to get your app.
And actually, didn't you make them a Canva template that they can just download, put in the assets they get from us? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't even have to make the template. They get your template.
Right.
They put in their assets. They put in their QR code from listed.
Yep.
And they're golden.
10 minutes.
Yep.
You're done.
Love it.
Website lead capture. So how many of you have a website? All hands go up because you should. How many of you generate leads through that website? All hands stay down. Because
I have a question.
What?
How many people wake up and go to their own website to search for listings?
How many? Goose egg? A big goose egg?
They have listed.
So the generating leads from your website, you can go above and beyond just having people do the search and like, what's your home worth option. So you could have a landing page dedicated for anybody in your area that's searching real estate app.
Yeah.
And then yours could come up, especially if you did a Google paid ad on top of that. You could do a blog.
And then you want to have on your listed app in your about the link to your website. So they do it in the order they want because people literally just want to know their sold price and get data. But then once they have that, then they want to see your blog posts and your seller package and how to buy with me. So then they need to be able to get to your website for all the rich data. But initially it's like they need a tool.
So what I used to do when I had my first website, because all real estate agents had a website. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. So all real estate agents have a website, and it's a templated website. And it's like, how does your website get ahead of all the other agents that have the exact same template? The only thing that you guys changed was your photo, the name, and the brokerage. And so what I did was I went through every single page on my website and I re-edited. I retyped everything to make it hyper local for Durham region, the market that I was working. And then what I did was I looked at, like, back then I didn't have an app, but if I did, I would go through all the features of the app and create a blog post for each individual feature.
Yeah.
And now that creates a much larger, rich, fresh inventory of content on your website. So if you guys are running dry on content for your website, all you got to do is take a look at your app and like think of like the top 10. Everybody loves a top 10 list. Come up with your top 10 reasons for why a consumer would benefit from using your app.
Oh, and if you have a listing and you do a blog post about it and you want to invite people to guess what it's going to sell for or do something fun like that, and then they win a prize after, like there are so many ways that kind of energy of a blog post and then people signing up and then they get the app, they get you, they guess the price, and then you have a reason to follow up with them later too to say what it sold for.
That's one of the hidden features within in the listed app. The consumers can actually guess what a home is going to sell for. And then the real estate agent sees what they're guessing, and it makes it more interactive between the consumer and the agent.
Yeah, it's a precursor to estimated value, which needs to be done accurately and will be coming.
So the other thing with generating leads from your website using an app is I would have a website pop-up so that when a person is leaving your website, like we've all seen a pop-up, they're annoying, I get it, but you could set up pop-ups that are only trigger when a person's already leaving the website. So who cares? You might as well ask. Do you want
it just
fries?
pops up once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops up once. And then it would have the app icon so that they can download your app before they go.
Yeah.
Same with chatbots. We used to run chatbots on our website. You know, the automated little robots in the bottom right that's like, hey, ask if you got questions. Well, we could program it to actually offer the app to consumers as they're searching. Here's an example of a pop-up. I used realtor.ca in the background, but you get the idea. It doesn't matter what the website is. When you go to leave the website, there's a pop-up, right? And you could have people pop up to subscribe to your newsletter. You could have people pop ups to book an appointment with you. I feel like the lowest barrier to entry would be an app download.
Lowest. And on each page, you could have a different one. You could have get my seller checklist on a different blog page post.
Yep.
You could have your app on one page.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is an example. I'm going to give you guys this as a Canva template so that you can change the background if you don't like it. If you want to add a photo of you holding a phone here, it's just drag and drop. Everything's already done. You can change the fonts to match your branding as well.
Yeah.
So I'll give you guys that template before we go. Here's an example of a chat website where on the bottom right is a little message and it says, hey, we have a new real estate app. Want a link to download it? You ask 100 people, 20 of them are going to say, yeah. I mean, it's a numbers game. You just got to get communicating with the people.
Yep.
If you run social media ads on Facebook, I'd say one of the best ads that you could run would be the promotion of your app.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of real estate agents they're just posting the home that they have for sale, which is fine because you could still advertise that home for sale. But when they click the button, where does it go to? The app. Because you can actually target with Facebook, they don't allow you to do a very tight radius. You have to do a large radius because it's housing is the category. It's a special ad category. But one of the things that you can target is device. So I could target who are all the people in Oshawa that are on an iPhone. When they click my ad, take them to my app store link for the iPhone. And then I would create a separate ad targeting Android users because I know when they click the link, they got to get the Android link.
To save you money, as one special thing, when you use your listed link, is smart and it will open to the Play Store if the receiver has an Android and at the App Store, iOS, if they have an Apple.
Even easier. Yeah. Just run one ad then. Cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. So within Facebook, through the back end on Meta, you can actually specifically target people to download your app. That is one of the key outcomes. Like they have options where they say, do you want to generate leads? Do you want to get engagement? Do you want video views? One of the options is app download. And the whole goal is to get people to download the app.
Oh my God. Thank God I showed up today. I'll have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we should. And organic. This is where I play. Most of my time is spent in the organic space because I don't know, I just like free. And so if you are struggling with creating free organic content, then think about this. Each feature in your app could be a post.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for listed, just off the top of my head, they have the Find Me button. You press a button and it pulls up all the listings instantly where the person is standing.
Right in front of you.
That's a feature that people would be able to hear about and you talk about. Quick little 15-second, 30-second video. The listed app also has all of the sold data. I want to stop and just get back on camera. So listed has sold data. So when the consumer is looking at a listing within the app, not only does it show what the home is currently listed at, but it also shows the consumer what it's sold for in the past, if it's been terminated, price changes, all of that is right at their fingertips. So that's a feature.
All the property history.
That I would talk about.
And they have to be signed in. So they would have you as their agent when they're signed in order to see it.
Yeah. When the consumer uses your app, it's branded as you. So every single listing on the MLS actually looks like your listing, even though it's not. You're the key contact. So when they hit contact agent, call agent, you're the person they get. Yeah,
in fact, you're the only agent because in listed, when you have listed, you'd think it's just that agent. So you wouldn't realize there's even another agent in it. But what's interesting is for the realtor, you guys, when you have listed, you get the listing agent, so you can do deals. But your clients and their friends and family who get it, all just get you. So that's kind of the power of it. It's the alignment is right. Your clients get you, you get the listing agent.
So those are just three functions that I talked about that you could create a blog post for. What about the satellite maps? When you're using the listed app, it pulls off all of the satellites imagery around that listing, so you can see the train tracks, you can see the view, you can see the highway, you can see the house that's burnt up around the corner. Like you could see everything before you actually get there.
Yeah.
The app also has full screen photos. So that's another feature that I could create an organic Facebook post about, where I'm like, hey guys, we got this new app. It shows you full screen photos that are mobile friendly. Take a look at this. And you could just record your screen showing them your current listing. It also does landing pages as well. Her app does. So at the press of a button, you can click a share button and it creates a mobile responsive friendly landing page specifically for that listing, branded as you on any listing that you want to do that for. So you could do that as well. It's Android and US. Sorry, it's Android and iOS and Canada and US.
But we still live Americans. Yes.
Yeah. It also has all the exclusive listings. Well, not all, but it has a large inventory of exclusive listings that you can't find on the MLS. So that's another feature. So these are all examples of blog posts that if I was a real estate agent, I would be literally write out all the things you like about your app, or if you don't have the app, write out all the things you like about your website. You have a seller page, you have a buyer page, you have a calculator page, you have a mortgage rate page, you got whatever your pages are, just like break it down, because just because you have it doesn't mean the consumer is going to find it and know how to use it. So take the time to actually tell a story, basically, about all of your tell a story about all of the things, all the tools that you have that you take for granted that the consumer should just know, because they don't.
Yeah. And I think the big deal is that at the end of the story, you're giving them value because they want insight and information. And so the more information you give them, the richer the conversation is when they reach out to you.
There's a tool I used to use, or I still use it. It's called Loom, and it allows you to record your computer screen. And you don't necessarily have to be on camera. It can just record the screen if that's what you wish.
Yeah.
And so I used to do that all the time, where every page on my website, I made a video about that page, explaining to the consumer, this is where you are, this is why you're here, and this is what you're going to get if you do this. And it just like shows them the track of where they are and where they want to go.
Well, actually, I helped a realtor with that recently. What was so interesting is they had somebody who just wanted to look in this little pocket of Leaside. And so we recorded their screen and we went to Leaside and we drew on the map and circled this little area of Leaside. And we went to the filter and put 10 days back. Boom. They had an immediate, everything available in the last 10 days in Leaside, saved it as a search. Then they added what sold in the last 10 days. And they had this like instant followable CMA and could share the saved search they'd made with their clients. So it's constantly being updated the way they want to be updated. So
nice.
In that case, push alert.
3 people say, I don't have an app. I don't have an app. I don't have it. Reza, Jim, and Ernest. Anybody else don't have an app? Message in the comment section if you don't have an app. Because if you do, there is ways that you can get one. I'll share that with you. I just want to know who you are so I can follow up. So I'll go back to sharing my screen. Okay. So organic content. If you have a real estate app, you've got more content than you're going to know what to do with.
Yeah.
Basically. What about your follow-up campaigns, your email campaigns? When you guys generate a lead, speed to lead matters big time. You got to get back to that person within 5 minutes. But a lot of times it's 2023, people don't answer the phone. They don't respond to text. And so what we have to do is we have to follow up with people. And if I look at most real estate agents' follow-up plans, they don't have one. And if you do, it's cookie cutter garbage that is US based. You're Canadian. It's not even local. The words don't even make sense. So what I would do is use your app in your welcome video. So if somebody responds to you on realtor.ca, I would have a common response that goes to everybody, that I'll actually answer the specific questions, but in the footer, like the email signature, for example, would be download our app.
Yep. What
are you doing on realtor.ca? You got to get off that. Just kidding. But anyways, you got to get people using your app. So in the email follow-up, I would be promoting that as like the first response. What about like when you have a buyer or a seller, you got to touch them over the next couple of weeks, right? Well, you could break down. Remember I said that organic content of you talking about the features of your app and writing a blog post about it. Now that you have that blog post, you can repurpose that blog post for your email campaigns.
Yes.
Because so many people put time into creating content once, posting it on social media and walking away from it. You guys are doing it wrong. You got to create the content on your website first and then post on social media about it. And then take that into your email follow-up trip. It's like
and one thing on the email that's super easy and efficient is when you have people using listed, you just go to the Me tab, look at your clients. You could say, I'm going to spend with my cup of coffee 1 hour every morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Go to each of your clients, see what they liked, see what safe searches they've made. And when you follow that, you'll either get a notification or see what they liked, and you can instantly send them an email or a text or however they want to be reached and talk to them about what they were literally just interested in. You can even, when someone's liked something, go to the listing and leave a note that is just from you. No other realtor can leave that note because you're the only you in the world. So that's what's so nice, is that you're able to curate essentially the experience. And if you leave a note on the listing, like offers are Thursday, or there's beautiful east and south views from this property's windows, anybody who's liked that listing will get a note. Oh, your realtor left you a message. So if 10 people liked that, you leave one note on the listing, and all the people who liked it get an automatic email, text, or push notification, depending on their preference. And if they want to reach out, they can, but that's automatically gone to them. And anyone who didn't like it won't be notified. So it's according to interest, according to time, and super efficient.
I got one guy that's doing like a Brian Buffini pop-by style campaign, where he's doing a coffee with his clients. He's bringing a coffee to them. So because he's coming to them, he's getting their address.
Right.
Because he has to come to them. So he has to verify what's the address, what's the postal code. So boom, he's updating his database. Then he gets face-to-face with them and has a coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Has a coffee with them. And then at the same time, he's showing them this really cool app, and he gets them set up for free. And then he sets them up on a neighborhood alert, so that if any home gets listed or any home sells within that pocket of his client, the app listed through him notifies them. And he's doing a campaign right now. He's got about 100 people that he's going through that list and meeting face to face.
So smart. Actually, that makes a really good point. Because say you're working actively at the moment with 5 or 6 clients, you're running around in your day, you get an alert. Oh, a new listing just came out in this building. You see that, you stop, you press share, you send it to that client and go, hey, Martha, I just saw this came out. Let me know if you want me to book a showing.
Yeah.
And it just goes like that. So it interrupts you for a moment, but then you're sending out a notification to that person, timely, relevant, immediate. And yeah.
Let me get back into the presentation. Bang.
Because it's all about time and attention at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Efficiency.
Speaking of efficiency, how many emails do you guys send on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis? Honestly, if you were to guess, how many emails do you send in a year? Do you think it's like a couple hundred, 1,000? Like what's the number? Regardless of what your total number is, I'm telling you, if you don't have a proper email signature, you're missing the boat. That is hundreds or thousands of messages going out to other people for whatever reason. You're booking a hotel. You're like, I just had a girl this morning reaching out to me about like looking after her pet for the weekend because she had to go away. And so if we email back and forth, if I was a real estate agent, I could be having about download my app, get my house values, whatever. Yeah. So you need an email signature. I'm telling you, a lot of real estate agents, they just use a photo that they make on Canva, and it's got their logo, their face, the phone number, the email, the website, social media. Well, guess what? In a photo, they can't click. They can't click the phone number to call you. They can't click the website to get to your website. They can't click the email to actually respond to your email. So you need to make a proper email signature. And in that email signature, I would definitely be promoting, here's an example of what my email signature looks like. And I make these for people if you have a hard time with it. And anyways, so here's my email signature. And I have 2 links at the bottom. You see the purple one, that's a video done for you marketing system. And then the other one is to book a call with me. Well, if I was a real estate agent, I would have download my app for free, like right there in the middle of every single email that you go out. You need.
Oh, I'd like to add something to that. Yeah, you do. And I will say Dan is the guru, as you know, of technologies. And if you try to make a beautiful email signature and do it incorrectly, it will actually potentially stop the whole email from being received by the person because it will look like spam if you don't attach the link or the image correctly. So you create these for people. So if you have any doubt, they can get one from you.
Yeah, reach out to me. There's different tools that do this. We're about to release one that is going to be a drag and drop editor for realtors, so they can just like make their own email signature. But in the time being, just let me know what your stuff is, and I can make one for you.
I have to get you to make mine.
Okay. Open houses. So a lot of you rock open houses, and it makes sense because you got to fish where the fish are. And when you do an open house, the buyers, they do walk through the front door. And so when you're at your open house, you need different resources to engage in conversation. So I'm going to be giving you these 3 templates that you can have. The first one is open house sign, you know, the directional sign rider that you put out at the corner of the street. Well, if you'll look, the arrow, I've got myself in the phone with an arrow, and then the body of it is, guess what? A QR code. It fits perfectly there. So when it's out in the street, I don't know how many people are going to walk by and scan the QR code, but I can tell you what, it's more than none, because if you don't have the QR code on your open house sign, that's already a 0. So what's the harm in the future if you do redesign your open house signs? I have this as a Canva template already set up, drag and drop. Just change your logo, your face, your contact info, and obviously the QR code. I would have it go to my app, the QR code, or if you want to be safe, have it go to your website, and on your website have the app. Either way is a good option.
Or go to the listing of the open house.
Oh, no, these signs are so expensive, you wouldn't change it every time. This is like the big sign at the corner.
Oh, actually, you know what'd be really smart for that?
What? Decals?
Get them to design the sign so where the QR code is, it's a white square, and you can just put your peel and stick QR code for each listing, because people want to know about that listing right away, and then they can do so many cool things when they get that listing. So you could actually have them signing up as your registration through that listing and to your open house through the QR code. And the cool thing about Listed is if they're working with another agent, it'll automatically allow them to be connected to their own agent, and that agent will be notified that they can reach you for your open house for their client. So agency is always respected, but if someone isn't working with someone, then they'll get you. So it's a win-win.
I do have a hack for that, by the way, the QR code on your open house sign. Make it your website /featured. So all of your listings are on that one page. That way you never have to change the code.
Okay. This is so fun. Okay. There's another thing where you can get a dynamic QR code where you can constantly, you could get one QR
that
code,
would be an option too.
And every time you could make it the download to your app, you could make it download to the listing. I would say make it the download to the listing. And as soon as it sells, then change it to the download of the app, because when it's live, anybody can go to it. But once it's sold, they have to sign in, and people like to see something right away.
I should do a webinar on dynamic QR codes. Actually.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I can share how we've used them too and helped people use them, especially for promotions. Because there was somebody, like, if you put a QR code on something like a water bottle and get 3,000 of them printed, you want to have it be changeable in case there's anything that doesn't go along with it.
Yeah, big time. All right. So going back to the templates that I'm going to give you. Oops, where is it? Here. So I'm going to give you a open house registration template. And this is when they scan the QR code, it would take them to your open house registration form so that you can capture their name, their phone number, their email. And then guess what they get when they put that information in? They get an automatic email that promotes your app.
That's right.
Yeah. And then also anybody that walks into the open house, I would hand them this piece of paper. Obviously, you're going to give them the feature sheet of the property itself as like one giveaway. And then another giveaway would be this to download your app.
Oh, and can you go back for 1 second?
Yeah.
When you have the QR code with your app, one thing we noticed is agents really want to brand the app, like get my app with their picture. And that's actually how we had it originally. And then we found that people would leave that page without getting the app and go to the app store to get the app, because depending on the level of how much they know you, they wanted the kind of unconnected app, which is when they look at some of these other apps where you don't see an agent's face, they think that they're just getting it with anyone, but they don't realize you can't look at real estate without it being connected to a brokerage or an agent. So we actually suggest changing it to just say get listed. It takes them right to the app store, but underneath is actually your link. So when they get listed, it's actually with Dan, for example. You wouldn't be, but yeah, it would be you. So it allows them to think they're just getting the app, but it is connected to you, because they might as well be connected to you, because they have to be.
And then once they're
connected.
under you, anybody that they share the app with
also gets you.
Also gets you. Yeah, it's very
it's like
organic.
And they told two friends and so on and so on.
Because they do.
Network effects.
They list their home and then they share the marketing. So it's easy. It's an easy way to get your client to share your marketing.
Oh, well, when someone's selling their home, they want to tell everybody.
Yeah.
They can share their listing from the app. They can post it on Facebook. Imagine someone says, oh my gosh, after being 10 years in Hyde Park, we're selling our home, and they put it up to the listing, and each person's 1,200 friends sees that, scans it, and gets you. This is how, there was one agent who did one video on his YouTube channel and got 42 new people sign up to his app in like one day. But it's actually not even the ads that work so well. It's that genuine relationship, when you tell your friend, like, I just listed my house, or I just bought this, and you share the property, and then that person's friend gets the link and gets the app. It's like 100% that they're going to click it because they know you. So it's not an ad. So it is really good to work by referral, share your app by referral. Yeah.
We used to to make things easier for people to share, I actually pre-created the marketing for our clients. So if we had a home that we were listing for sale, I had a marketing kit for the homeowner, and I created a social media post. I created a story. I created a square, a rectangle, an email blast, a text message. So I had all scenarios already pre-typed, so that all they had to do is copy and paste and send to however they were sending it. But if I didn't do that, it was paralyzing for people. They're not creative. They don't know what to do. But if you give them the tools, not all of them would, but some of them are going to blow it up. And
I love it.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note, when your clients discover Guess the Price, which started when a friend of mine who's a lawyer who loves listed and was using it, was walking with his wife in the neighborhood and said, we bet all the time on what houses on our street are going to sell for. And I said, oh my God, do you know when you open listed, you can actually now record that and bet against each other and do it. But if your clients or you invite somebody to guess the price, it pre-populates some text that says, hey, I think, and it puts the address of the house, is going to go for this much. What do you think? So it's a naturally sticky kind of way to share it and get other people connected to your app.
Nice. Boom. Okay. So blogging content, each feature within the app, and I just rhymed off at least 8 features on the listed app. Each one of those could be a blog post. I don't have to beat that one to death. That's easy.
Oh, I will say, we love agents who get listed and then want to talk about it or need content. And so we're happy to have a talk with you or interview you about your business. And that can also be content for what listed is for your listed, and discussing it and ways to put it out there that then you can put out.
A big one is using it as a reason to call your list as well. So I do this all the time, where I will export a chunk of my database. So I'll say, who are all the people that have booked an appointment with me ever? And because they're really warm, obviously they booked an appointment. So I've got a better relationship with them than other people in my database. So I have a list of who are all the people that booked an appointment. I have another list of who are all the people that pulled out their credit card and paid for coaching or speaking or something. I have another. So I have all these different lists, right? So what I'll do is I'll export a list, and then I time block where I do a 1-hour hike every day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. And I'll just go down that list using an Excel sheet on my phone, click and call. They don't answer, hang up, text, click and call. One of them answers. And then I just share like what's new and exciting with me these days. So maybe it's the app.
Oh, and not only that, when they're in the app, if you're doing your hike in Dan Wood fashion, You can just go to your Me tab client list, see who's been active, see what they've looked out, call them and say, hey,
Oh,
I saw you were looking at cottages, or maybe not say I saw you were looking at cottages, but call them and talk about cottages and see what they have to say.
so it's 2 steps. First step is I would definitely use this as a fresh reason to call your database.
Yep.
Call them up. And then when it gets to like what's new and exciting with you, I'd be like, oh man, we got this really cool app we're really excited about. Can I just text you a link? I just want to see if it works on your phone. Obviously, it's going to work on their phone, but we're just playing a game. And they're going to be like, oh, sure, okay. So I text them the link and they get it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Just download it and create an account. I'll wait for you. And they'll do it.
And anybody who says, I already have an app or I don't need it, that's where you want to take a different tact where you say, well, I discovered this new one that I love and I think you're going to love too, but I'd love your opinion on it. Is it as good as what you're using? Try both and let me know. And then you enroll them.
Actually, beta feedback.
Perfect.
That's exactly
good.
Yeah. So it's an awesome opportunity to connect and reconnect with your sphere of influence, your old leads. Some of you have leads that are so old, you're afraid to call them now. And that happens. Real estate seminars. So I obviously still do real estate seminars. It's a big piece of my business. But when I first started in real estate as a real estate agent, I used to do seminars for investors, real estate investing. And I only did that because I bought a duplex right away. My first 3 months in the business, I bought a duplex and then I was hooked on investing and I wanted to share the story with others. And so I would do events. And when I do events, you have to have giveaways and swag and items of value that you can leave behind with the people in the room. Well, if I had an app back then, that would have been my main thing. Up on the screen at the end of my presentation, I would have a way for them to download it. I would have paper for them to walk out the door and make sure that they download it. So if you do any buyer, seller, downsizing, investor type of seminars, having an app as a giveaway at that is just one of the easiest ways to capture contact information, especially 100%. If it's not your event. I'm a guest at a lot of other events, so I don't get the list of everybody who's in the room unless the people in the room willingly give me their information. And the only way I can get that is by having an item of value where I'm like, hey, if you want this, do that.
Actually, I saw on Facebook, agent who I know downloaded listed, and she was showing on Facebook how she did this first time buyer seminar and it looked really well attended and it was beautiful. And nowhere did I see her listed app link. And I asked her if she'd utilized it and got all the people at her seminar on listed. And she said no. So that's our fail. We're not going to let that happen again. Yeah. I'll support you. But that would have been an opportunity to have every single person, whether buy or not, walk out that door with her app and connect it to her.
I have an example at the end of presentations where we're on slide 23. So I have one. Here's an example of one I did where I'm like, oh, if you want a copy of my artificial intelligence, text Buzz to this number here. And that was just a way. So if I instead was a real estate agent, I would say text an app to this number, and then I would have them get the app. But this is an example of what the screen would look like when I do my presentation, and I would have this on when I wrap up at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on 23. Check. All right, Google pay-per-click. So this is hands down, if you have a real estate app, you need a budget to run this because you can literally target anybody who's in your farm area or in your demographic, like North City, like I'm Oshawa, so I would say I want everybody who's in North Oshawa. And I could tell Google, if anybody goes to Google and searches the word real estate app,
show me.
I would run a campaign targeting people that are searching real estate apps, and obviously they're in your backyard, these neighbors of yours who are doing the search. And because it's not such a huge search volume keyword, and you're also targeting a smaller little pocket, you don't need a $600 budget. Yeah. I would say realistically 200 to 400 a month. And if you're getting downloads, you're going to get business.
Yep.
Direct mail for people to get your download. So if any of you have geographic farming where you send notepads, flyers, newsletters, magnets, whatever to your neighborhood, on that literature that you're printing and getting delivered, you need call to actions. You need ways for the consumer to engage with you, and having like a big flashy download our app, real estate app, blah blah blah. It would bring your newsletters and direct mail alive, and you would actually be generating leads from it.
And actually, direct mail is not dead. As a funny thing,
No.
I live in King West, and in my condo, I've never met Christopher Beebe. I don't even know who he is really, but I have every calendar magnet in my condo from 2017 to this year with Christopher Beebe at the top. And it's effective. And if he had an app and a QR code, he'd be rocking it.
So I actually just ordered 500 flyers that I'm getting delivered to this neighborhood. I ordered them last night.
Oh, great.
So direct mail is definitely not dead. It is 100% not dead. And I had an epiphany of an idea, because I wanted to do notepads delivered to the neighborhood, but the cost of each notepad was pretty expensive for the cost of that, plus the delivery through Canada Post. Now, what do you guys like this idea where you take a notepad, and on the back of the notepad is 3 advertisers, a real estate agent, and then maybe the gardening center or whatever's local.
Mortgage broker.
And all 3 people chip in.
That's a good idea.
Because you don't need to be, and the other thing is when the notepad has 3 advertisers on the back, it's almost like you look at it. Because if it's one ad, you turn a blind eye to it. But if you like see 3 or 4, you kind of would stop to look. Anyways, if any of you have a farm area and you want to send notepads and you want to split the cost between you, your mortgage partner, and like one other vendor, let me know. I want to whip together a template and do that as like a test. So if anybody wants to guinea pig and play with me, my cell number is here, by the way. You can just text me live at 647-699-6047 and just tell me that you want to do that newsletter thing, and I'll work with you on that.
Actually, you can text Danny anything and he'll help, even if it's with listed.
Yep, it's true.
I'm so glad you love it.
I do. Print ads. So if you do newspaper, magazine, or any sort of like real print issues, like a weekly, monthly type of thing, maybe it's a real estate magazine. Normally what happens is the agent has 4 squares and they'll advertise 4 listings. 3 of them are for sale and 1 is sold. That's like a common formula. Anyways, I would have one of the squares to download your app. You're already printing and have it in the magazine or newspaper.
Absolutely. And I know some of the brokerages have, thank you, magazines associated with them, luxury magazines and seasonal magazines. And I don't know how that works with your own brokerage, but it would be great with whatever the article is to include your app.
Yeah. A lot of you use a thing like Linktree or link in bio or something like that. And here's an example of my Instagram, and you'll notice that there's only room for 1 link. So what do you link people to? Your website? That's what 100% of people do. The problem with linking to your website is it takes them to the homepage, and on that homepage, it's like a rabbit hole of not garbage, but like just content that they don't care about. They don't fix your roof tips, like whatever. I don't know what your homepage has, but it's not what the consumer is looking for. So what I like about creating your own link in bio landing page, and I'll show you an example of one.
See, we have a number of realtors who just ditched a website, have this link tree.
Yep.
They have Get My App at the top.
Yep.
Then they've got Mortgage Care. They have all their links neatly organized.
It's a one page.
According to what people want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is an example of mine. And I have a drag and drop builder if any of you want to use it to create your own. And so here's a landing page for me. It's got my name, my contact info. If you click Save My Contact Card, it actually adds me to their phone, already typed out, name, phone number, email, address, all my social media, everything is at the press of a button. If they want to schedule a call, they click that and it takes them to my calendar, which will show them all the openings that I have coming up. It's got all of my quick links. So you guys would have a link, download my app, listen to my podcast, what's my home worth, search MLS listings. So those would be your main primary quick links up at the top. And then you would have all your social media. So I choose to use Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I'm still debating on TikTok or not. It's definitely a great choice for many people, just I'm not utilizing it. And you'll notice I don't have my LinkedIn or Twitter here, and that's because I really don't use them. I'm not against them. Go whatever you use. It's your world. Do what social media makes sense to you and your audience. So you'll have your social media. And then I have my free resources. So I've got videos and more. I've got a newsletter and a blog. I've got a Canva video webinar. I've got a free magazine that I give real estate agents. So as my business progresses, I'm going to be adding more free resources here. And guess what? My link, if I get rid of the garbagey goop at the top, there, this link right here is always the same. So I could use that link on my profile for LinkedIn, for TikTok, for Twitter, for Facebook, my YouTube descriptions of the videos. It's one master link that I could use as a quick resource so that people can download my app, people can contact me, people can book an appointment.
Amazing.
It's an all-in-one. These things take maybe a half hour to set up. And then once you got it, you're running. So let me come back to my...
Yeah, I can imagine a link that says search real estate instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's your app.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If any of you do a home show, trade show, any baby show, bridal show, there's all types of shows that you could be a part of. And so when you do these, real estate agents will have water and mints and candy and pens and magnets and all sorts of stuff that they can hand out. Well, I would 100% have like a huge sign with a QR code, a video screen behind me showing a looped demo of the app. And that would be the main thing I'd be getting people to walk out the booth with.
Yeah.
Would be to download the app. It's free. This is the back of your feature sheets. So on one side of your feature sheet, 8.5, 11, you have obviously the pictures of the house, the price of the house, and all the information about it. And then on the back of it, call to action, download the app. Okay, so if you need help or want a real estate app, you can text me at this number here. I'm definitely going to connect you, and I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
These are the templates, by the way. So if I go to templates, so in Canva, I have, this is a sign writer.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to change the QR code. So if many of you don't know how to use Canva, there's a little app section down here. If I click on that and type in QR code, there's a whole bunch of options. The white one, this first one is the one that you want to use. And then when you have your listed account set up, you're going to have a link that you share with people, and you put that link right in here.
Yeah.
And then when you do, it creates the QR code and you just replace this one.
The other thing you can do is in Listed, when you go to share the app, there is already a QR code, and under it, it says save to photos, and you can just save the photo and then upload the photo.
Yeah, that's what you do then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Okay. So another sign dangler. This one is about texting. So if you guys don't know how to set up texting where they text a specific word. Oh, did you know? I didn't know this, but you can actually set up a QR code that when a person scans it, it automatically opens up their messaging app, types in your phone number, and then pre-types a message. So say it was like, they scan a QR code, they're in front of one of your listings, and then when they scan it, up on their phone opens up a message that says, hey, I'm standing out in front of 123 Street, and I see that you have it listed for sale. I'd love to get more info, photos, and details.
Great. And then that's actually great because they feel like you're reaching out to them right away. And then you can say, yeah, here's the information here. You could send them that you could send them that of the listing, but then you could also say, and for all the other properties on and off MLS.
Yeah, it creates a conversation. That's what I like about the texting, is that it's not, hey, give me your name, phone number, and email before we can even engage.
Yeah.
It's let's get engaged, start talking, and then we'll get your information if we need it.
The other great thing about the text is that when you text somebody the app or they text you and you don't have them in your contacts, have you ever had someone send you a link and it's not clickable? But then if you respond, hi, or how are you, it becomes clickable. So having that pre-text conversation would make it so when you send them the app, it'll show up and they'll be able to click it easily.
Yeah.
So that's good too.
Nice. So there's nothing more to share on the screen. So the Listed app, if you guys do not have a real estate app, you definitely should reach out to Listed. Obviously, you registered for this webinar, so you could just reply to the email that you got with this link and say, hey, I want the app. How do I become a featured agent? Because okay, I'm going to run through my favorite features of why you should look at the listed app.
Well, actually, to start,
yeah,
I just want to say it's so exciting to be here with you because you're just a tech guru. And the thing I love about you is how you help everyone, right? Your intention is just so set. And I know everyone on the call goes, yeah, exactly. So it's so awesome. And then to have Dan Wood, who knows everything and loves everything, actually discover listed and say to me, wow, I can't believe what you guys built. This is so powerful. And that's why we're sitting here today, because we made something because we saw everybody else making their own thing for their own selves or their own brokerage. And we wanted to say, no, we couldn't believe agents didn't have a tool where you could tap a button and see the property in front of you and have it work for them. Like, it was astounding to me.
Okay.
So I love that you love this. So
much so. If you're a real estate agent, how you would use the app is when you're showing a property, at the press of a button, when you get to the property, you lock the door, you start walking up to the property, you just click the Find Me button, and it instantly pulls up all the listings around you with all the sold data at the press of every listing. So it reduces your prep time for when you're booking showings.
Something good to come out on your drive over to the listing.
You're door knocking a neighborhood or something. You're doing your farm area.
Oh, some people are door knocking and saying, well, if you're not moving till they take you out in a coffin, then use this app and look at the real estate that's coming up in your neighborhood. So they still use the door knock to leave an item of value, which digitally connects you to them forever.
Definitely. So the Find Me button is awesome. That's one piece of it. The other one is at the press of a button, without you having to pull out an authenticator and being all clumsy and logging in on a laptop and lugging that around, directly from your phone, you can just pull up the listings and see the sold data. It's just really easy for you as the agent.
Create a search, make a list.
When you're with the client and they ask, like, what that home sell for down the street, you're not umming and ahhing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, let me pull that up and send it to you right now. And at the press of 3 buttons, they got it.
And I think the big danger in not being able to do that is they can. That's the change in what's happened in the last 5 years is if you don't give it to it, they're going to get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And these other apps, like, I know your clients are connected to you and would only ever call you, but it's just not professional to not be the one who's giving them the tool, right? You want them to see you. It's just presence and face recognition to have the best tools with you being there and them at your fingertips to contact them.
Well,
and if they're using something else, when they're sharing that, you're nowhere near that whole exponential sharing and getting friends and family connected doesn't happen if you're not going along with it.
The most powerful thing to me that sold me on listed was that the consumers that are using it have more power than the average realtor.
Yeah.
At the press of the consumer can at the press of a button pull up Find Me and it pulls up all the listings. The consumer can easily pull up the solds and everything. Whereas the agent, they got to log in, they got to do all this stuff. So it empowers your client.
And it delivers everything to them through you.
Yeah.
We're always making it so clear that all these other technologies are direct to consumer plays. There's no just app. If you see an app where there's not an agent or a brokerage present, that is a purposeful advertising on the part of the brokerage to just make it like an app so people get it. And I would recommend doing the same thing for listed for yourself, is that you just want to give them listed, but when they click it, they're actually getting you.
Yeah, it's almost like they have your app powered by listed. The app is for the real estate agent to be them focused first. So you're the star. It's your app. It just happens to be powered by and updated and created by listed.
Yeah, and I think the biggest way that I compare that for people is if you said to someone, join my social network, they'd be like, what? But if you say, go to my Facebook page, I mean, we use Facebook now as a authentication method. That's how trusted it is. So at Listed, we base everything we do on real estate standards. We support organized real estate. We take part at an industry national level at the Real Estate Standards Organization and the Council of MLSs. So you can be certain that it's something that is trustworthy. Like, for example, you could post a sold listing on Facebook and not be in contravention of the MLS rules because we've made it so that it's smart and it shows who has access or not. So it just won't show. You basically can't make a mistake, which is another nice thing when there are so many compliance rules out there too.
Yeah, definitely. They also have a way for the agents to upload exclusive listings.
If your brokerage is opted in.
Right. And so if that happens, which there are brokerages that have opted in and there are exclusive listings, when the consumers are using your app and when you're using the app, you actually have a bigger pool of inventory to shop and sell and earn a commission from.
And with the recent changes in law, it's really challenging to be able to still offer sellers who for very valid reasons need to put out an exclusive listing. Maybe they can't have people come into the home. They're an older couple. They're a key net worth individual. Maybe there's a dispute going on. There's all kinds of reasons why you might need to have an exclusive listing and get it in a realtor to realtor only trusted network. So the great thing is that the brokerages that are opted in are kind of many of the top quality brokerages that I would say combined have 90% of the exclusive listings across Canada. So it's a great trusted network. And as of January 2024, it's going to be one of the only networks I know of that's going to be in compliance with the Realtor Cooperation Policy. So if you have questions about that, let me know. But it is all the listings versus just some of the inventory, which is where you're limited if you're using your own app with your MLS or you're using some other agent or brokerage's app because it's free and they're on it and not you.
That is crazy. Do not let your clients use another agent's app.
Some people say to me, why do I need listed when I can just use fill in the blank? And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I actually have to explain that to you?
Because you want to be the agent, because you want the business. Okay. A couple other features that I love with the listed app is that it is both iPhone and Android. So many times I disappoint people because of the stuff I find is really cool, but it only works on the iPhone or whatever. Nope, they have an Android team that is pushing.
And the other thing that's really important is when people say they have an Android and an iPhone app, like think of your own MLS, it's a website wrapped, like it's called a web wrapper in code.
Okay.
But not to get too technical, but we have 3 different code bases. It is the more expensive, more challenging, more hard way. But if you think about it, it's so smart because you're making the app for the platform it's being delivered on.
Right.
So if something goes wrong on iOS, it's not affecting Android users and vice versa. And it's made for it. So it works with the internal offerings of your phone, like adding photos, sharing, doing things. So it's trustworthy, fast, and speedy. Where you're going to notice it on the most is on the map. When you're looking at listings on the map and you're trying to circle an area and then see sold and available really quickly and share them, when you're using a web wrapper, it's going to be like pins coagulating and you can't find anything. But when you're on a slick, it's called native designed app, it's like A++.
We went for a walk last night, Becky and I, and there's a ravine neighborhood like 8 minutes away. This is a ravine too, but anyways, there's another one around the corner and very nice houses. So I was like, oh man, I wonder what the houses are going for. Oh, open up the app, hit find me. And then there's this one that was like, it was like, you have to drive into the forest. So I opened up the satellite view on the app and it showed me that whole street. And it was just really cool to be able to like, see the real estate. Like if I was actually I was making a video for you guys and I was out front of one of the listings making a video and somebody came by thinking that I wanted to buy the property because I was like taking pictures of the for sale sign or whatever.
There's what you can do. Just go in the neighborhood and have your phone out and kind of look at it.
Yeah, just you stand in front of every listing taking videos of it. Okay, another feature is that your client list. You can create a list for your clients and you can actually see the things that they're liking, saving, hearting, like you can see the interaction. Yeah. So the more people you get into the app, the more data you can see, and it just makes it easier for you to pick up the phone and say, hey, it's been a couple weeks. Like if you see that they've picked up activity and they're now looking every day and doing their thing, maybe that's somebody to reach out to.
We're actually really working on a feature right now that's really improving the insight and foresight you're going to get from your client's activity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not creepy as much as it's just trying to help you and them understand what they want, right? Even people think they know what they want, but when they're swiping through properties and liking some and disliking others, the algorithm itself starts to give back to them. Hey, you seem to like this area and this price point and houses like this. So it's just greater efficiencies.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think one of the things that is very simple but overlooked is just the search. In the search bar, you could type dog park. If you have clients that want a dog, you could see off-leash dog park and circle the off-leash dog park and get houses around it. You could do city hall. You could do French immersion school. You could have a specific condo that somebody lives in from 4 years ago and put the condo number, space, street number, name, and it'll pop up immediately. It'll just ignore your filters and find that listing fast.
Wow. I didn't know you could go that detailed. That's crazy. Yeah, you could set it up. Really handy.
Yeah.
I have listed app. It's great. Let's see this chat. Somebody says, Anita, hello. I have the listed app. It's great and easier to use than the new Realm MLS. I feel there's so much more information. I'm not tech savvy. It'll be fantastic to review the recording and maybe some coaching to use all of the features.
Ooh, okay. That reminds me, Anita. Thank you. There's an agent who every time he has a question, day or night, sends me a text. I know that sounds crazy, but I love him for it. I can do that because I offer this to everybody, and our tech support is really great too. But I'll give my own personal direct number because when I get feedback, like this is the only thing I know of where you can actually make a difference and change how real estate technology works by letting us know, and we'll change it. Because I think the new black is, like the new next thing isn't an AI chatbot. It's actually going to be that you can call the bank and get a person who will talk to you about your account immediately without being on hold for an hour. Like it's actually reaching someone. I think the new amazing is reaching someone.
They have a real team. So
real people, and they're all based here in Canada.
Yep. The cool, so it's because it's agent focused first, you guys have to do your paperwork through your board. So there's
high friction,
there's
we try to make it easy
for you to get the app. It's not like just download the app and you can start using it because you have to legally set stuff up. So anyways, because of that, they have a real team that really helps you out. So
thanks, Jim.
Just signed up. Jim, nice. So any of you want the app and to be featured as an agent, just say I want the app in the comment section below before I hang up.
Exactly.
And I'll print it out and we'll.
So whether it's Danny, you can always reach Danny. He can reach us. But whether you reach Dan or whether you reach me, just know you have a voice and you can always reach someone immediately. And in the app itself, if you just touch every button, nothing happens without, like if you went to send a listing or call someone's phone number, you touch it, it doesn't phone them immediately. It's like you touch the number, then you press call. So you can't make a mistake. Like you just learn, you learn by doing.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, if anybody want to do this and get an app, then just comment in the section below. We have the list of everybody who registered for this. So obviously just reply to the email as well if you want to get it. You can go to the App Store and just willingly like download it. But just know you're going to have to like do your TREB paperwork or whatever your board paperwork is in order to get it rolling. And they'll help you with that.
I just want to say one last thing. I want to say an incredible thank you to you because we come from a design and technology background. We didn't hire anyone on our team who's sales and marketing because our belief is you just make a really good product and it sells itself. That isn't the case. We actually need a Danny Wood who realized, oh my God, I can't believe this exists and nobody knows about it. So I love that actually by making a good product, we are getting some of the help in marketing. And there are a few agents, one who might even be on the call that I think you invited, who I just love so much, who've been waiting forever for a guide and resources. So I want to say that we are actually working on that in September. We're really going to get it out in market. So anybody who's part of Listed is going to see a huge boost in, I think, just the regular people that are downloading it and getting on it because we're now doing a marketing push come mid-September. So.
And part of the resources, all those templates I shared today, you guys are going to get an email with the video recording as a follow-up. I don't know, it might be like Tuesday-ish coming up. Anyways, whenever you get that email, in that email is going to be all the templates that I talked about for Canva for you.
Yeah, and thank you to all of you for coming, because one of the things I want to say is that depending on what real estate board you're with, they have different methods for how you connect to the data. And so we work with the different real estate boards. So I appreciate your patience. But I think the new paradigm is really that you have the power. We were so sad to see that consumers are getting direct data from companies that want to reach them directly. And we want to say that true beauty of organized real estate is the MLS. It's our greatest technology. So we totally support the MLS. They're under-resourced. They don't have the ability. They're not tech people to make an app necessarily. They have their own vendor.
Definitely not.
So, there's a new thing called choice of systems. So when you speak up, when you say something, when you vote with your downloading and your voice and your outreach, you'll make a difference now. It's really changing.
They're pushing every week. They have meetings every week on new features, new enhancements, new changes.
Yeah, we invite Danny to a lot of that for his feedback.
It's a push. They're really pushing for you guys. So I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We're going to get this recording out to you. Everybody on the call is going to get the resources that are going to be emailed to them next week. And then just reply to the email if you want the app, or just send me a text or I'll pass it along. I don't get anything other than thanking her for making such an awesome app for you guys. So I'll gladly just pass any text you guys send.
And for us, if you need help as a coach or tons of resources on what to do, it's Dan Wood. So, that's why we're both here, because we're like two peas in a pod.
Yeah. Thanks, Ernest. Thanks, Nita. I see you guys saying goodbye.
Thank you.
I missed it. I'll look for the recording.
Send it to you.
Oh, you'll get the recording. We'll get you.
Dear
Bye, guys.
iPhone. Bye.